Well, howdy there, folks. How's it going? I hope everybody's doing really good. Welcome to part 2 of the Les Paul Custom Shop mod session, I guess we'll call it. So anyway, if you watched part 1, which was probably really boring, and this one might be too, but this is just part of the process, and I want to take you guys through. I don't want to leave nothing out. I want you to see the whole thing, okay? So in the other video, you saw me taking some sealer and sealing the grain on the neck and that kind of thing. And I've been taking some black paint also. This is just Rust-Oleum enamel. And once I put the sealer on, which is clear, I'm using Thompson's water seal, I'll seal that up and let it dry. It dries really quick. And then I'll add another coat of sealer when it gets, liquefied again. Then I come in with this, a clean rag, and I bunch it right up good, and touch that in the paint. And I do circles this way. I don't try to do it a lot this way. I do have to at some point, but I try to make circles so it will catch the grain, you know what I mean? It's porous, so you want to do this motion so it'll hook into them little divots and stuff, okay? But as you can see, you can still see some of them, but they are getting sealed up now. So I've put, I don't know, several coats on here to do this. But all right, so anyway, we got some sealer on there, and we're going to come in with some paint right here, okay? And again, this is how I've been doing it. The sealer kind of thins it down a little bit so you can work with it. And, you don't get any brush strokes or anything like that. It's really kind of unorthodox what I'm doing here, but it's working quite well. And I got this idea from a channel that just started I've been watching. It's called Blaze Piano Guitars. They're in Massachusetts. Really interesting stuff these guys are doing. They're making, some guitars out of some old pianos that they're salvaging or whatever. Some really old wood that they were built out of. The pianos, a lot of them are from the 1800s. I think these guys are really onto something. But I was watching this guy do some finish work on the guitars he's building, and he does this thing with stain and shellac, and he's really clever at it. So that's where I got this idea to kind of try this, okay? And it's really working well for what I'm looking for here. You know what I mean? I'm getting a nice desired effect here. So again, this is just baby steps when you do this. It takes more than one coat, and I'm not trying to turn this right black again, okay? What I'm basically doing here is using the paint's a little thicker, as far as viscosity, and than the sealer. So the sealer just kind of lets me put the paint on, and it just gives me enough time to glide the paint without it getting really sticky really quick. This took me a little bit to get the system down, but again, I'm using this Thompson's water seal. You can get this in hardware stores. It comes in a metal can usually. This is just a plastic jug that I dumped some into. I didn't get any direction from anybody, anything like that. I just pretty much just experimented with it. I mean, it's for wood. It's made to seal wood, so I figured we'd be in good shape. So it does work well, and it's sealed this neck up, which is really all I wanted to do. But I want to get it so it looks right too. I don't want just bare wood. And now we're starting to get a little bit of black back in it. which is good. I mean, like I said, I'm not looking for a finished black look here. It's going to be a relic look when we're done, and that's just fine. I don't mind that at all, actually, as long as it feels good in my hand. Like I said, I'm all set with the relic look. I always like that. I like old guitars, and I like relic guitars as well. So anyway, yeah, it is a custom shop, but it's just a guitar, guys. You know what I mean? That custom shop thing is just a price tag. For the most part, they are nice, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I think it comes down to me with the custom shop stuff. I mean, I think the wood selection is probably a big factor in what they're doing as far as building guitars in the custom shop. Their relic work is really nice too. But you can learn how to do that on your own as well. It's not that hard, but you gotta learn it. There's no doubt. It's not like you're just gonna set your guitar on the bench and relic it, and it's gonna be, it's gonna look like a 50s Les Paul that's been around the world 5 times. You gotta it takes a lot of thought, and really it takes a lot of slow, the process is slow, I should say. Like any of this, you got to take your time and just take it in little stages, and don't be in a hurry. So anyway, let's look that over. See, now I'm starting to get a little black coming back in. That's what I want. I just want some look like it's kind of spalted. You know what I mean? So right now the paint's starting to get tacky, and the seal is starting to do its thing too. So now I'm going to wipe it this way, and that closes the pores off really nice. And we're going to do another coat anyway, so I'm going to just dip this in one more time, and we'll just fill that in. Yeah, so back to that channel I was talking about, the guys that are building the guitars out of the old pianos. You guys should check that out. It's really cool. He does some really cool techniques on finishing. I think he must have been into finishing furniture or something at some point. He seems to know a lot about that, and I enjoy the channel, I do, and I really would like to hear one of his guitars someday. Really cool design, and it's vintage wood for sure, and it's gonna sound good, I'm sure. You can't just find wood that's 250 years old anymore. It's getting scarce, so I think these guys are onto something pretty big. And it's just a cool concept, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun to build those guitars out of that old piano wood. All right, guys, well, we're starting to get the desired effect I'm looking for. Starting to get some black back in it, and that's just what I want. I want it to look like there was still black under it, and I want it to look like it's just been kind of played enough to break through some of the other color on the outside. Yeah, it would take a lot of playing to get that down to that, but in the end, I think it's going to look cool. And it's, like I said, it's going to feel good in my hand. That is the most important part here anyway, but I want it to look right too. So I did dig out some stuff. I got some new push-pulls and some caps here. Now, these are the push-pulls right here, okay? So what you got basically here is a regular potentiometer. You see your 3 lugs that would normally be on a regular pot. So basically you got a regular pot, and you got the switch. down here. So when you pull this up, it activates these two top terminals and these two, so the top four. When you snap it down, it's making contact with the bottom four, okay? And that's how these work. So you got a switch, and you got your whatever, volume or tone, wherever you want to put it. These are nice ones too. I can't remember what these are, if they're CTS, I'm not sure. Actually, I'll have to find out. These belong to my son. He was gonna do a Les Paul up one time and bought these push-pulls, and I think these are 223s. Probably Sprague's or something. I can't read it right now, but so we got some caps and push-pulls, and I guess I'll have to replace these at some point, or actually not. He's going to get the guitar anyway, so it is what it is. If you're watching this, buddy, I'm using these in this Les Paul. I know you won't be hating it. This thing is really awesome. What a fun guitar to play, and I can't wait to modify it. So I'm thinking maybe later tonight, if I can get it together, I may do some soldering and change everything around. I got to look some stuff up on the internet about the color codes on bare knuckle pickups. I actually just installed one on another Les Paul that I had with a push-pull, and I didn't write down the color code like I should have, so I got to look them back up. I did find a good website that showed all the manufacturers, or at least the big ones, of of pickups, like bare knuckle, Gibson, Fender, Seymour's, Lindy Freeland, and they had the color codes for all the wires for the pickups. Really handy, and I think I'm gonna screenshot that this time when I go back there and find out. And I may just write them out on a piece of paper, and if I do, I'll put that in a video so you guys can have it, or at least give you the link to the page so you can look it up yourself. And that's handy because they're all different a little bit. Not all pickup manufacturers use the wiring in the same fashion, or they're not typical, I should say. So you got to look that stuff up, and it's just, you got to find out which is the north stat and your south stat. That's the most important. And once you get that figured out, which colored wires pertain to that, then it's pretty simple to wire up these push-pulls. It's not a big deal. But they're a lot of fun. Like I said, it's pretty non-invasive because pots will go over time, so you got to change them out sometimes anyway. I'm not drilling any holes to do this or anything, but you got the two pickups there which have the potential to be split or made into single coils, and why not? The wires are there, I might as well use them. So I like to get all the options I can. This is like adding power windows to your car or something. I guess all cars have power windows now, don't they? I don't know. Anyway, that wasn't a good analogy, but I really like what's happening here with this staining thing. Like I said, I learned this. He doesn't do it like this, but I learned this concept from this guy that's building guitars out of old pianos, and really interesting to watch him apply that finish. So I'm not using shellac, but I'm using sealer, and then it's just the black paint almost acts like a dye, so to speak. But like I said, the viscosity of the paint is a little thicker, so when I make this motion, it hangs up in those pores in the wood. And at the end, you're going to have a nice smooth finish. And I'll probably have to scuff that up a little bit with some some real fine abrasive, but I think we're getting close where I can deal with it, and it's going to feel good in your hand again, and it's going to look kind of naturally worn. That's kind of the effect I'm going for. I just want it to look like it's been played, but I'm just covering up the bare wood, like I said. So we'll see what happens. It'll either be tonight or tomorrow, but I'll have another vid coming up on this real soon. Once I get this taken care of, we're going to move into the electronic part over here and get those push-pulls installed. And this is going to be quite a guitar when we get done, there's no doubt. I should have did a nice demo. Well, actually, I did play this guitar in a few videos somewhere on my page, but we're going to do a nice in-depth sound test on this when we get it all done. And I'll definitely shoot some video on the wiring. I'll draw up a nice schematic of what I'm doing so you guys can check it out. And it'll be on my page. If you ever want to reference the information, you can. Well, okie doke, folks. I don't want to bore you too much. I'm just going to let this dry, and probably try one more coat and then seal it, and then that'll be a sealed deal. No pun intended. Well, thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I know these past few videos have been kind of boring, but I'm not able to play guitar right now, so it's just basically working on them. We'll get there, though. Things are looking up. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys real soon. Be good. Okie doke.